Greetings, this is JP Vanir, and I'm going to talk about Vampyrian TempleUVUP in the modern era. TempleUVUP was founded December 18, 2003, and I, Reverend JP Vanir, wrote the Vampyrian Shadow books from 2007 to 2009, and it is time for an update of the modern TempleUVUP. During the time of Yahoo groups and Ning, we had over 600 members. Our Ning group was TempleUVUP.org, which is no more because I couldn't afford to keep running it. But we now have over 1,200 members in the Facebook group Vampyrian TempleUVUP, but not as many on our official site just yet at vampyrian.sprues.com or vampyrian.org. Reverend J.P. Vanir, or I have been ordained since July of 2002 and have been studying the vampire belief since 2005. And I've been studying theology since 2001. When TempleUVUP first started out, we were very eclectic, as we still are, but Unitarian as well as Pagan. But our spirituality evolved to become Vampyrian while writing my books. What I will be talking about here is how we have evolved in the modern era and learning about vampires and Therians. Vampyrianism shows us that Layla, or Lilith, was the first human vampire who was created by the Christian God, as was the first human. And they both were created to be like him until their disobedience, eating of the tree of knowledge, which Layla never did, so she was not, that punishment didn't become of her, and found that God had left them naked and ignorant, as which he preferred him to be, and so they could not learn the truth about certain things. Both were created like God, or actually all three were created like God, but only Layla evolved by taking energy, life force, and blood to become more vampiric into a goddess. Adam did not embrace this path and wanted to please his creator by remaining ignorant and creating more regular humans with Eve. Layla created vampires by mating with demons, spirits, and gods. In the recent era, human vampires are more common as Layla continues to have children even as a goddess, and they possess human babies by doing still. However, the male counterpart is never the same person, though he does continue to have relations with the same lovers as well as new lovers, and she just continues to repeat relations with her old partners as well as new ones. She even has human lovers as well as demon spirits and gods. In her earlier days, her children were hunted down, but now they are protected by the vampire spirits and gods, as there is an agreement with them. We are always protected by our vampiric spiritual mothers and other vampire spirits. Layla's evolved children also evolved into spirits since they reached that point through taking energy as needed for such tests and spiritual awakenings as well. Once a vampire spirit evolves beyond the spiritual point as a spiritual mother, they can give birth to vampire children, but they are not a lot of spiritual vampire mothers, only Layla's spiritual mothers can give birth to vampire and humans through their mating. Through there are not a lot of these Laylams or vampire spiritual mothers. As stated in the Vampyrian Shadow book, always remember, vampirism is the condition of the soul. In each of their reincarnated lives, you always return a vampire in each life. I have had a couple of past life regressions with the help of Michelle Ballinger. My earliest was of ancient Egypt as a priest under Set. So I know I am very old soul, as well as the direct descendants of Layla and him. The age of a person's soul is unsure. In fact, perhaps old souls have been around since the beginning, and perhaps we all continue to go on, since energy does not die but continues. If this is not so, then it really does not matter. Vampire souls do not ever die, being as they are from the old family indeed. The human, animal, or plant spirits is a form of energy that goes on and on until it is time for the underworld to take that soul to the other realm. The soul is an energy-based spirit, and we can literally feed from the soul. We, however, do not like or often cannot take the energy emanating from the light, holy light, or from the sun. So we have to feed from the lower energies available in the human soul. However, the vampires are not part of this world, since we are demons, spirits, and gods. As well as part human, our soul can never die. We can visit the other realms through astral projection, however. Goddesses and gods do not die. Most true gods were never human, and humans eventually end up in the underworld. So how can our soul end up there? Many of us were born from the genes of fallen ones, demons, who are vampires. Not all humans are just human. Those with psychic abilities are likely more than human as well. They are probably vampire, Therian, changeling, fae, or otherkin. I have my own theory that most gods are vampiric, though they may also be otherkin as well. When is human form? What? And their powers rely on the admirer or worshippers of the lost. If they lost them, they would lose their power. In recent years, many people seem to believe that the Christian God is dead and left his people to suffer. That is why his power over them has decreased, and by believing so, they will cause themselves the real harm, as they are trying to kill him. However, gods cannot die, yet they can lose their power. That was almost as bad as death itself. We therefore are immortal. Our soul, not our body, just us. And after the human body dies, we reincarnate into another human body. I will leave this down here so you can read it along with me if I make you lost, because I'm not very good at this, but I do it anyway. because a lot of people like YouTube, so I use what I can of it. Thank you, and goodbye.